Okay, so what's going on, everybody? The Iceman here on this Sunday evening after WrestleMania is all over and done with. What did you guys think about WrestleMania? I thought the first couple hours of the show. Actually, I watched the pre-show since 5, and I saw the tag team match. I saw the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Um, I was hoping Mizdow would come on top of that, but Big Show ended up winning it. And then, obviously, you start the main card. And of course, it started off with the ladder match. And I'm not surprised at the outcome of this match. I thought it was a really good match, though. There was a lot of good stuff going on. I thought Dean Ambrose really took a really bad shot going over the ropes and going through that ladder. And I'll be quite honest with you, I think he really got hurt. And then it came down to basically Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan ended up getting the title down to become the new Intercontinental Champion, which, all well and good there. And then we saw the Seth Rollins Randy Orton match. Um, with this match being on early, I sort of had a funny feeling of things to come later on. Uh, but it was a good match overall. Uh, I wasn't sure who was going to really win this match, but I'm not surprised that Randy Orton was put over in this match. He looked very, very strong over Seth Rollins. And this, like I said, this led me to believe things were going to happen later on. So we saw a lot of good things going on here at WrestleMania. And I was really shocked, though, around the 8 o'clock hour that it was Sting and Triple H. But I will say this: um, this to me stole the show of the night. I would have loved to seen this close the show, but unfortunately, it was in the second hour of the actual card for WrestleMania. Sting and Triple H, it was awesome. I mean, it was just totally awesome when DX came out. Uh, you know, Sean Waltman, Billy Gunn, the Road Dog to help out Triple H, and then all of a sudden you heard the NWO music with Hogan and Nash and Hall come out. It was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then of course Shawn Michaels' music hit. He was, like the deciding factor here and it all. But yeah, I was actually surprised. I mean, I was telling my nephew, and I've said this for like weeks, that Sting got the best of Triple H. It wouldn't surprise me if Triple H got the best of Sting here at Mania. He did. I liked the way the match ended. I liked the way Triple H shook his hand, and I liked the way Triple H sort of slapped him on the neck. It was like to say thank you for the most part. Now, whether or not we see more of Sting in the future remains to be seen, but I thought this was pretty darn good. And then we saw the women's match, Paige and AJ against Nikki and Brie Bella, which was a match be quite honest with you, I really didn't care about. But AJ ended up being in the spotlight and putting on her submission hold, and Paige and AJ won that match, which I really didn't care too much about. Then we went into the 9 o'clock hour. Rusev and John Cena. Rusev, obviously the United States champion, and John Cena. Um, it wasn't a bad match. Um, it wasn't a great match either. It was, yeah, I knew Cena was going to come out on top, but I think their match at Fastlane was a hell of a lot better. I think they could have choreographed it and booked it a lot better. But anyway, John Cena ended up coming out on top of this match. So, it was sort of interesting, to say the least. But anyway, um, at this point, the first couple hours of Mania I thought were really good, but then we got into the second half, and I think it really slowed down for the most part. I know a lot of people probably loved Mania. I'm not saying it was a bad show, but I'm not saying I just think the first half was a lot better than the second half. Um, we uh, had it was just, to me, it was strange. It was really strange. We saw the segment with Triple H and Stephanie coming out, and I'm trying to think, well, what are they out here for? Was Triple H going to gloat over his victory over Sting? But he didn't. He really didn't get the opportunity to. Stephanie was just shooting her mouth off like she always does. And then we heard the Rock's music hit. And then the Rock came in, and then he went into the crowd and, along the side, and grabbed Ronda Rousey from UFC and brought her in the ring. And this was a segment I was thinking to myself, well, maybe they're just doing this to waste some time, because it was going on the 10 o'clock hour, and you still had The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, and you still had Roman Reigns and Lesnar left. And so this was pretty much a long segment. But I really honestly think this segment was uh, a segment that's going to mean something. Maybe it'll be on tomorrow night's Monday Night Raw. I don't know. But Ronda Rousey wasn't in that ring. And the funny part about it was she tossed Triple H, and I thought that was pretty cool. But obviously there was a reason for this. Whether or not it was just to make up time, I don't know. But we'll see tomorrow night on Monday Night's Raw. Then we had The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Now, everybody was looking forward to this. Unfortunately, um, I would have liked to seen some of the matches earlier in the show be pushed later in the show, because I thought the last 2 hours wasn't that great of a 2 hours for WrestleMania. But a lot of people think differently. The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt was an okay match. Obviously, the Undertaker can't do a lot of things that he used to do. And when you think of the Undertaker, you think of the Undertaker with his hat and his long hair, being really mysterious, being really dark. And now, obviously, he's got the short hair. He comes out with the hat, and he's nothing like that. And it's almost like similar to how Kane used to be and how Kane is obviously now. There's like a total difference between the two of them. It was a match that was, it was okay to watch. Um, but in the long run, The Undertaker ended up defeating Bray Wyatt. And I want to say this too, as well. Um, on this WrestleMania card tonight, all the younger guys pretty much got defeated, if you think about it. Really, if you really think about it. Daniel Bryan ended up winning a ladder match. We saw Cena end up defeating Rusev. We saw Orton defeat Seth Rollins. Um, Big Show won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I mean, and you go on up the line. AJ Lee ended up getting the victory, and of course the Undertaker defeating Bray Wyatt. And then we get to the main event with Lesnar and Roman Reigns, which I enjoyed this main event, to be honest with you. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the last 2 hours, this was probably the best match they had. A lot of people were saying it wasn't gonna main event, but it did, and I enjoyed it. I was rooting for Roman Reigns, to be quite honest with you. Um, a lot of people were talking about the cash in by Seth Rollins, and I'll be honest with you. It looked like Roman Reigns was going to win this match. Now, I don't think I've ever seen a cash in during the middle of a match. And I was talking to my nephew Matt after this, and he said he didn't think there ever was either. But this was a way for Brock Lesnar not to get beat. I just sort of felt bad for Roman Reigns. Now that Seth Rollins is now the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, I think it's very, very short lived. I honestly believe tomorrow night on Raw, Seth Rollins will probably lose the belt. Now, I could be wrong, or it's going to set up a match for Extreme Rules. And obviously, as we all know, that Lesnar is not going to be around on an every week basis or an every month basis. So it should be pretty interesting. WrestleMania overall, I mean, to be quite honest with you, like I said, I thought the first 2 hours were really, really good, and the last 2 hours could have been a lot better if they mixed up the matches and switched them around. I think they positioned the Sting and Triple H match, you know, being in the first 2 hours at the 8 o'clock hour, I think was sort of wrong. I think that should have been like at the 10 o'clock hour, but they did what they did, and it is what it is. So anyway, this is the Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. Give me your thoughts, give me your opinions. Let me know what you thought about Wrestlemania. It's all said and done now, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. So peace out, everybody. We'll see you next time.